Honored past presidents, Sri B.P. Rao, Sri Suresh, Mr. Naresh Chandra, all the distinguished delegates. You had an extremely rewarding and satisfying session in the morning, where two very outstanding papers of great technical and professional importance for us in the profession have been covered. We now move on to a general overview of what happens in the profession now and how we have to move way forward. Of late, you find that this topic has been gaining in importance practically in every session because of the significant changes that is taking place all over. What I intend to do is that in the first 5 minutes, I intend to make a quick overview, a bird's eye view, a snapshot of what I intend to talk to in the next 25 to 30 minutes and then move on. Please be with me. India is developing very, very fast. All segments of the economy is moving fast. Profession also is moving fairly fast, but under a certain cloud. What is at stake is the image, reputation, quality and independence of the profession. Do we have balanced growth? Not very sure about it. There is a huge advantage for a select few, but not much of a level playing field for all of us. The majority are small and medium practitioners, and most of the part of the major assignments are not being assigned to the majority, and it goes by choice or by otherwise to the select few. The general morale in the profession seems to be low. The auditing standards are supposed to be pretty high, but the private sector particularly is lagging behind in terms of quality, in terms of standards, in terms of excellence. Huge volumes of public funds are involved in the nation's economy, several hundred thousands of crores, but profession is not involved either in the management or accounting or auditing of this function, these funds. There is need for absolute probity, transparency and accountability. We need to ensure that. The new entrants to the profession mostly would like to prefer industry or service, as you will hear from me later, and not for the profession. Most of them are not adequately trained, not good enough, either for industry or for profession. Their skills are not properly utilized, their capabilities are not evaluated and assessed properly, they don't have job satisfaction, their growth is substantially affected. This gives rise to several important issues. Is the foundation of the profession value-based? Are it on the strong ethical background? Do the bright CAs have the right opportunities in the profession? Are the quality and standards maintained in the profession? Is there a bias for a select few or a favoritism towards a select few, wantingly or unwantingly? Are we playing our rightful role in the economy of the nation and in the governance of the corporates and others? The profession, what is the way forward? The profession has to be built up from scratch. I have no doubt about it. Whatever could be, we have to make a fresh beginning if we have got to raise up to the levels what we are looking for from the very base level. There has to be adequate focus on systematic, thorough training and development. Exam systems requires to be thoroughly revamped. The course and curriculum has to be upgraded. We need to have a thorough academic coaching system in order to ensure that the students learn what they are supposed to learn, and more focus have to be on the practical training. Profession might perhaps need an internship immediately after qualification for 1 year in different areas of accountancy, auditing and consulting. There is absolute plenty among students, perhaps there is plenty among CAs also, but absolute paucity of the real good ones, even among students or amongst the professionals. We need to lay down certain basic criteria for practice. We need to build on the confidence of our youngsters. We have got to facilitate constant upgradation of knowledge. There has got to be periodic orientation and renewal. Those who enter the practice have to learn to get together and work in partnership. Through partnership, they need to grow. Their firms have to be steadily grown. They have got to go in specialization in select areas. They need to work for the common good. They have to learn to compete. They have to develop their soft skills. They have to earn and then share. Each one has to be a leader in the profession. They have got to grow collectively. Their client relationship has to be valued. You will go through only your client's confidence and client's trust. You need to install value systems in every client of yours. You need to be a good advisor, a good watchdog, a good mentor, maintaining high integrity and independence all the time. You have got to grow with your clients. And the challenges before you are that you have to remain updated. You have been hearing in the last 2 sessions what is happening. You need to adopt to changes, you need to adopt technology, you need to adopt best practices, you have got to expand and diversify to grow. And the challenges we have been talking about are all in different fields, in IFRS, in SBRL, in DTC, in GST, in international taxation, management auditing, and management consulting, in internal control, in risk assessment, in capital gearing, in technology, in computer-aided auditing systems, and enterprise resource planning. In conclusion, you need to grow with opportunities and create opportunities of growth. You have a serious approach to issues. You need to face looming internal, external threats capably. You have to learn to take risk for growth. You have got to handle problems professionally. Institute has certain special roles to play in ensuring that there is proper education development, that growth, profession grows systematically, and those in service are also attended to. Perhaps we may need an independent national association also to protect our interests. There are certain limitations on institutes as regulator, and we need to associate with the government on a very large scale. And this is what I intend to talk to you. You have a bird's eye view of what I want to tell you. I will now be very brief on the highlights of what I want to tell you. You see, as I said at the beginning, India has been growing at such pace, enormous. There is no doubt about that. The whole world is now looking at India. The whole world is like a Parabrahma, a Mahavishnu. The moment the Parabrahman's eye comes on you, you start growing. And there will be no going back on that. All aspects of industry, whether right economy, right or not, industry, agriculture, infrastructure, service sector, government, business, everything is growing. All professions are also growing. Look at the way how medicine has grown, how engineering has grown, or how information technology has grown, or how law has grown, or architecture has grown. Accountancy also needs to grow, and we are growing. But these changes that have been coming has been so fast, we have been swept aside substantially. Our ground is little bit shaken. That's the general feeling. That's why the morale is not very high. That's why we feel that we don't have adequate opportunities for all, because we are ourselves not stable enough from the point of growth. We have to find our feet to grow. Are we on a very stable ground? This is the point. And unfortunately, a profession has a very long, healthy tradition built up by stalwarts. Look at the firm 50 years ago, profession 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago. Batley Boy, Billy Moria, Sorab Engineer, Gopal Kapadia, G. Basu, N.M. Reiji, Anderson. Look at the names. Even the second generation, Pesi Nerilwala, S.D. Malekam, G. Narayan Swami, Shivramakrishnan, Shastri, our own Kerala Verma, Brahmaya. You see, towering personalities in the profession who have brought the profession to this level. Judiciary, government, everyone used to call our profession a very noble, sacred profession. But today, how many will call this profession noble, sacred, value-based? Something has happened somewhere. The foundation is not completely eroded, but something has happened. Probably advent of globalism, probably advent of multinational firms, probably advent of fast changes in the business methods, business methodologies, business strategies, business processes, business systems, all that. Perhaps that had its impact on the profession too. And we are wanting value-added profession. How do we add value at every stage? How do we empower our client at every stage? In the blind pursuit of the so-called value addition, this profession started slowly tilting towards commercialism. This was the problem. What was, essentially a profession and a profession core started slowly shifting into something like a little bit of a commercialism. And therefore, you find that you see the thin dividing margin between commercial activity and profession slowly disappearing. And this gave a huge advantage. The multinationals were wanting to jump at India. In every aspect of activity, they saw the profession a very clear, available field. Good, one way they should come. They should teach us also what are best practices, what are international practices. No doubt we need to learn. But in the process, you see the existing setup has been slightly affected.